Hey guys, Al here again. Thanks for tuning in to Trying to Prepare, my channel. Today I wanted to go over some of the philosophies and concepts I use when I'm dealing with things that I'm trying to prepare for, or making survival or emergency kits, what I take into consideration. I figured while we'll do it, this is a survival pack I made a little while ago, and I kind of want to go through it because I kind of forget, and I got a piece of paper. Once we're done, I'm going to list everything and take a look, see if I need to change some things around. And I'll go over the pack a little bit too. It's an FRTKK canvas Molly pack. It's an Amazon product. I'll leave a link in the description below. But I've set it up where I can pull a string out. I basically made a string with a necklace knot so I can adjust it for carrying. Added a couple of D-rings to the top of the Molly. I can put it on a belt if I need to. That's just there so I can hang it on the wall. But we'll go over this as I'm talking. So what I'll do is I'll empty this out, you can see all the components, and then it's not really about this. I just figured it's a little eye candy, some gear we can look at while I'm kind of talking real quick. The first concept in philosophy, I believe it was the gray-bearded Green Beret, Josh. I'll leave a link to his channel if I can too. Mentioned something one time and it really stuck with me. And I believe it was called the 4 Absolutes of Survival. And basically what that is the human body physiologically only needs 4 things to survive. They are air, the ability to regulate your core body temperature, water, and food. Simply put, if you have those 4 things, you will survive. Now, granted, if you have some tools and skills and other things, that will certainly help in that. But, it's really that simple. If you have those 4 things and can procure them, you will survive. The next kind of rule, it's very funny if you know the rules of 3. I'm sure we've all heard them. They go right along in that order of what you need for the 4 absolutes. The rules of 3 are the 3 minutes without air, 3 hours in harsh or adverse conditions, 3 days without water, 3 hours without 3 weeks without food. The next one that I really enjoy, and I forget whose channel it was, I will link it in, but I believe he called them, or they're called, the 7 Pillars of Survival. And it's kind of a very good guideline where if you're building a survival or emergency kit, to put these items or in these categories. The first one is medical. The second one is shelter. The third is water. 4th is food. 5th is fire. And 6th is signaling. And 7 is land navigation. And then, of course, we have Dave Canterbury's 10 C's of survivability. I'll go over those very quickly because I'm sure we all know them. So you've got the first 5 are the most important because they're the most difficult to reproduce in nature. Are cutting, cover, container, combustion, and cordage. The second 5, or 6 through 10, are cotton, candle, compass, cloth tape, and a canvas needle. That's pretty self-explanatory, those things will certainly help make your life a whole lot easier in a bad situation. One of the other important things when it comes to shelter, and I call it I believe it's called the 3 components for shelter rule, is when you have a shelter, I see so many people build a kit and all they have is a little Mylar blanket. And I don't know, that's not much of a shelter for me. Basically, you are supposed to have something to sleep under, sleep on, and sleep in. If you have those three things, you know, that's a good shelter component. Depending on the weather, you know, obviously a cold situation, a cold weather situation will need a whole lot more. You'll need a whole lot more to that kit to keep you warm than, you know, just a Mylar blanket and a trash bag. Let's just see real quick here. So that's kind of my three components for shelter rule. And then another one is for, you know, when you're camping and when you've got your campsite, the 5 W's for campsite selection. Some of you may have heard this, some of you may have not. Basically, you want to be near water, be near wood for shelter, building, fire. You want to take the wind into consideration. When you finally have those three components, the first thing you want to do before you set your top or tent up is look up. You want to look for widow makers, which are any dead trees or dead limbs in the trees that may fall on you and kill you in the middle of the night. And the fifth one is wigglers. Now, I live in the Northeast, so I don't really have to worry about scorpions and rattlesnakes and, you know, bugs or anything like that too much. Maybe ticks, but that's about it. So, you know, that's pretty good advice. You know, make sure you look up and make sure nothing's going to drop on you. Pretty much the last two are very quick ones. And this is one kind of category. I put this in skills, knowledge, and gear. And what I have written down is, and I'm sure we've all heard it, the more you know, the less you need. You know, it's nice to have all the latest and greatest gear, but if I had the skill levels 15 or 20 years ago that I have now, I would have half the gear I have right now. It's nice to have all the latest and greatest things, and I like buying stuff and, you know, having this and having that and having, you know, 5 backpacks and 4 shoulder bags and 5 different stoves and 10 different, you know, lights and headlamps. And, you know, it's nice to, you know, have 27 million fire kits and different food options and little hygiene and, you know, cordage. You got bank line, paracord. You know, it's nice to have all that stuff. But like I said, boy, if I knew 20 years ago what I knew now, I'd have probably like one haversack, 1 or 2 backpacks, one for, you know, a bigger camping experience and one for more of a day or two experience. But hopefully this will help give you some ideas of, you know, these are the philosophies and concepts that I think about when I'm putting together a kit, or what am I preparing for at home? You know, is it a power outage? You know, I have a very nice solar charger with 4 100-watt panels, and I bought the extra battery and all that stuff. And I have a generator also hooked up with the wire going through the wall so I can run a compressor and run the house. And I have 2 freezers, you know, on top of my refrigerator, and they're stocked. And I have freeze-dried food, you know, to last a year, and 5-gallon buckets under the stairs full of water, all treated, ready to go. I check them once a year. You know, that's for home stuff. When I build emergency kits for if I'm just bushcrafting for the day, am I going to be doing an overnight or 2 bushcraft camp? Am I going car camping? Am I, you know, putting an emergency kit together for my truck or to keep in my wife's truck? Those type of things. I take all these philosophies and concepts and try to incorporate them all with my skill levels and her skill levels, or lack thereof, and, you know, use them to put everything I need together for preparedness, emergencies, and survival. I hope this helped. Please like and share if you did. If you have any comments, again, this is just a quick little emergency kit. I'm going to go over it and use all those concepts and see if I have everything I need. I know in here is a compactor bag and a Mylar blanket, because this is more for summer. So this would be a sleep in, sleep under, sleep on thing. But I'm going to take a look at it. You'll notice too, it's very much a 10 C's kit, like we did the other day. So thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it. If you have any suggestions, thoughts, any other little concepts or philosophies that you use, I'd love to hear them. Love to get some feedback on with you guys. Thanks. Have a great night. Stay tuned for the next one.